We get a lot of DIY customers asking us about how to use tunable lead strips or boards. And to be honest, typically we lose 9 to 10 of those customers 5 minutes into this conversation. The solutions seem a little complex, and while the ability to tune your light really is uber cool, if you don't know enough about what the various spectrums deliver for you and how to set them up, well, most folks just want to hit a switch and have the light work. So I hope this video can demystify the subject. The parts list: we will use a single 3-channel boundary rider board, a single Meshtek controller board, and a single 24 volt AC to DC constant voltage power source. The last item, the 24 volt power supply, is important to note here, as we will be driving 3 channels of colour, but doing so from a single power supply. We will do this by using one of 2 specific Meshtek controllers. Meshtek come in a PWM and 0 to 10 dimming versions. We will use the PWM version, as this allows us to run 1 power supply into the device but get out up to 4 channels of control. If we were to use the 0 to 10 volt version, we would require a LED driver for each of the 4 channels. So 4 drivers are required. Let's open the application and have it connect so we know the Bluetooth is communicating with the LED strip board, and we will slide all 3 channel controls up and down to confirm that each channel is live and working correctly. So you can see that I have it synced here on screen, so you can see it actually working in real time. So the 2 methods are to use the light setting feature or scenes. Let's start with light settings. From the dashboard, tap into your light. You're presented with 3 submenus: lights, light setting, and schedule. In the light setting mode, you're presented with the slider bars. You can set levels here, but it is going to be simpler to jump along to the schedule menu. The schedule menu presents schedule off and lighting. Tap lighting to get the submenu and tap light setting. Here you can directly adjust the menu slider to some mix of light you would like to have. When you're happy, tap next and you will be presented with the start time for the setting to come on. Set your on time, tap next, and you now have the turn off time settings. Tap next and you can set days for the schedule to operate. The final next tap takes you to the summary page of what you have created, where some final edit opportunity exists. If you made any errors, tap create and you have your first scheduled light program. Having shown you this method, let me tell you why I don't really care for it. While this is a single discrete light setting, the problem relates to the naming of the specific light setting. If you look at the schedule summary, you will note the setting is called color and uses what I assume is a hexadecimal code to refer to the setting. This code is unlikely to be in any way intuitive in terms of describing what light setting it relates to. And to make it worse, I have no ability to rename that setting into something I could understand. I can still review the setting to see what it represents in terms of the mix of color or some monochromatic setting. However, if I had 20 or 30 such settings that I've created, it's going to be difficult to recall or review each one with any ease, and to change or tweak the settings to create a light formula that readily makes more sense. Fortunately, there is a second approach that will enable you to more readily create names that are more intuitive. Returning to the dashboard, we need to go back to light settings and create a light setting. At this point, look to the bottom left of the screen where we see an option called Scene. We tap onto this button and we'll be in the master light screen. Tap Create and you've made your first scene. We've begun building a serious tunable light. We can now see why this method and the ability to be able to name the scene into something that is more relevant is a more intuitive approach, especially if you are going to create many scenes. So now we back out of the menu, returning to the lights menu level. 2 slides left take us back to the schedule menu. We repeat steps from the earlier light setup approach to get to the lighting bar. And this time we tap on the scene menu. So now you're presented with the scene you have just created. Tap on the scene to select. This is to differentiate from other scenes you may have. Repeat the time on, time off, and you will get the summary page. So the big difference at this point is the name of the scene or the spectrum we may have created is editable. Tap on create, and once uploaded you now can see the schedule with a name that should mean something to you. So in summary, I prefer this second method because I can create a specific spectrum or recipe that I can match to a specific need. For example, if I just wanted end of day for something like Emerson effect, I could have a channel of far red that comes on for 15 minutes. And let's say it increments in power settings of say 10, 30, 70 and 100%, and then reverses out of that in over a 15-minute period. To do this, I just create 4 scenes, in this case on the far red channel, and at the 4 different power settings, and then load those 4 scenes into the scheduler. Okay, the video is getting pretty soaked in minutiae, but stick with me and let's consider one last concept that extends this idea. The sliders alone shift color temperature, but they're just numbers. It makes more sense to develop recipes based in color temperature, and therefore we need to be able to shift that color temperature or wavelengths to values that translate into usable recipes. So we need to move the sliders around until we hit a color we actually want. And we do this by taking multiple spectral readings until we get an outcome we're looking for. As you can see here, I demonstrate working the sliders and spectral testing until, in this case, I get 3000 Kelvin. And as you can see, I've got several other examples that I've made. In summary, the ability to create your own spectral light recipe using a multi-channel LED strip with a wide range spectrum like this 1800 Kelvin to 6500 Kelvin, and adding the deep red as a further tweak, provides a light source with almost unlimited spectral capacity and even tunable CRI. The Bluetooth solution is user-friendly and intuitive when used as we described. And if you like this stuff, please leave a like and subscribe for more content.